All right. All right. So it looks like we're live now on YouTube and looks like we're live on Facebook. All right, great. So welcome everyone to uh, the Ethiopian Bible Study Series, episode 15, Fire and Brimstone. I'm your host, the High Priest, Sakuma Zengami Lambu. So welcome everybody to today's teaching. Again, we do these teachings Monday through Friday, approximately 10 p.m. West Coast, California time. All praise and glory be to Yah. If you want to catch the live teaching, you're going to have to catch it at 10 o'clock, approximately West Coast, California time. Put questions in the comments section, though this information is pretty direct. But if you do have any questions, put it in the comment section. You can catch the produced version um, on our YouTube channel, High Priest Sakuma, or our Facebook channel, right? Our Facebook page, Sakuma Lambu. I'll put them in the comment section so that those who wish to check this out live on Facebook can do so, or they can check out the live on YouTube if they prefer YouTube instead. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We're in the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 1. Coming back from where we left off in the last episode, uh, Abram had just saved his nephew Lot from the clutches of some evil kings that the king of Sodom and Gomorrah was fighting against. Lot got caught up in um, that conflict because the kings that were going against the king of Sodom and the king of Gomorrah had won the battle and they had plundered Sodom and Gomorrah. And in plundering Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, they took Lot, Abram's nephew, as captive, as a slave, and stole all of his goods and manservants, maidservants, wives, the whole 9 yards. And hearing this, Abram brought his allies to bear, and they went to war with those kings that had gone to war against the king of Sodom and the king of Gomorrah, in which, of course, Abram won. Imagine that. And delivered Lot from the clutches of these evil kings, in which he put to the sword. And then, of course, in the last episode, we went over the fact that Abram didn't want um, payment for winning the battle for the king of Sodom and for the king of Gomorrah, because he didn't want them to think that they made him rich, and he didn't want to spoil his riches by mingling it with the riches of the wicked. Long story short. And that's where we pick up here in the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, Yahweh's word came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Don't be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward." Now, hold on for a moment. Right. Now, the Most High was just confirming with Abram that he shouldn't be afraid, right? He's going to go through things. Obviously, there's going to be those who rise up against him. Him going to war with some wicked kings and their armies on behalf of his nephew could be a very scary proposition, a very scary circumstance, seeing that he's going against multiple kings, each of which having sizable armies, and he went up against them with nothing more than him, three allies, and his family and his servants, and so forth and so on. So, the Most High was just confirming with him, hey, don't even be afraid. The Most High is his shield. And if the Most High be your shield, who can come against you? And that is the same way it is with the chosen leadership of Israel here in the 7 year Great Tribulation, surrounded by enemies, both foreign and domestic. Um, but yet the Most High let us know not to be afraid, for the Most High be with us, right? That He would protect us from enemies, both foreign and domestic, that we would live where leaders of our people in the past had died, Yahweh ben Yahweh, um, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know who they are. They all perished um, because they were getting too close to the truth. And here the Most High came to the chosen leadership, giving us information about what was to come, who his people were, what he wanted us to do, doing the work of the Most High. And he let us know not to be afraid, that he would protect us, that he would uphold us with his right hand. And that's from enemies, both foreign and domestic. All praise and glory be to Yah. Just like he promised Abram, he promised us in spirit and in truth that we would not see death. All praise and glory be to Yah. And we moved out with that promise, with that understanding, right? With that fact. All praise and glory be to Yah. So, I mean, the Most High did the same thing with Abram that he did with the chosen leadership. All praise and glory be to Yah. And it's a blessing, and after strokes and, all kind of various different things, we're still breathing. After assassination attempts, we're still breathing, right? And that's because the Most High said we wouldn't die. So he kept his word when it came to Abram, that he was a shield, that he would protect them. And he's keeping his word with the anointed king of Israel and the high priest, the chosen leadership in which he has chosen. And of course, there's nuance with the chosen leadership. He let us know through his word and through vision and dreams that we would not die, let alone that our enemies would not overtake us, because the Most High is our shield, the Most High is our sword, the Most High is our everything. And you'd have to go through him literally in order to bring us down. And he's already promised that we would not die, that we will be alive upon his revealing. And as they know, the king would live for long life into eternity. So everything the Most High had said in regards to this, he has delivered. Not to mention that we would have mirth and abundance, in which we do. All praise and glory be to God the Father. Just like we told you guys in the beginning of this ministry that we wouldn't see death, that this is the generation of the redemption, that the Most High be with us. And if he wasn't with us, we'd be found in a river somewhere, belly up. But that the Most High be with us, that is the reason why we're still breathing. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? Because if the Most High wasn't with us, then the powers that be who got rid of Malcolm X, who got rid of Martin Luther King, who got rid of Ben Yahweh, who got rid of all these others who thought to lead the children of Israel, then surely they would have gotten rid of us as well, if the Most High not be with us, right? They would have seek to get rid of us or pay some jealous Jake to do it, right? Like what happened with Malcolm X. He was teaching, and somebody was like, "Get out of my pockets," and before you know it, they were blowing him away. These are things that are historically true, that has happened, that is recorded, right? Same government we're dealing with today, but the only difference is that the Most High has stepped in and has declared that we wouldn't see death. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? And here it has been what, since 2010, since we started this road, 16 years. Wow, that just goes to show you just how much time passes, right? 16 years ago, I had a full fledged grill, and 16 years later, it is what it is. But that just lets you know just how long the Most High has been with the chosen leadership. Of course, he's been with the high priest since birth, as it is written, right? The prophet, the holy man. He fashioned the brother in the womb. All praise and glory be to Him. And through extension, obviously, the anointed king, because we are identical twin brothers. So the Most High wouldn't have fashioned me in the womb and not fashioned him in the womb as well. Funny how that works, right? So let's get back to the scriptures. After these things, Yahweh's word came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Don't be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward." Let's hold up for another moment. So not only is the Most High protecting Abram, just like he protects the chosen leadership of Israel even to this day, he told Abram that he was Abram's reward. So those people who think that you ain't need to do nothing, that you can just sit back, kick your feet up, and be carried into the kingdom is fooling yourself. The Most High told Abram that the Most High was his reward. When you get a reward, you get a reward for doing something. You don't get a reward for sitting in your butt watching somebody else do, like these Christians, right? They're sitting on their butt doing nothing or evil, thinking that they're going to be ushered into the kingdom through a rapture when they haven't done nothing but evil. Lied to the children of Israel, uh, having them believing that they're Gentiles, that they're heathens, and that the Jewish are the real Jews when we all know those are lies, right? Saying that this is a Christian nation while pushing pedophilia, gay and homosexuality, sexual sins, marrying outside of their nation, right? Pushing boyfriend and girlfriend, the whole 9 yards, man. Christian dating and garbage that the laws have been done away with. These Christians have been lying off of both cheeks. They haven't done anything but pushing evil and wickedness. The KKK is a Christian organization. This country was supposedly founded on Christianity during slavery. So Christianity is just a big deception, man. I mean, how hard can, when reviewing the history of this religion, how hard is it to see that they're off? That all man-made religion, to be fair, all man-made religion is not of the Most High. no matter what the man-made religion is. And this that we're teaching you today is not religion; it's historical fact. It's our heritage. This book is our history book, right? Chronologically showing the Most High's relationship with man to his chosen people, to the destiny of man, to the destiny of his chosen people, in which he has intertwined together. These nations, when we went into captivity, slavery, these nations cut their cords from themselves, from us, because their destiny was intertwined in the destiny of the children of Israel. All praise and glory be to Yah. And when we went into captivity, they didn't want to be tied to us anymore. They wanted to be able to grow their own way, their wicked way. And here we are in the end, and they're going to get what they wanted because they're going to go into destruction their own way. And the children of Israel is going to go into paradise, into the king's rest, the Lord's rest, right? In the secret place. Now, there are going to be heathens, Gentiles of every nation in which that nation was meant to survive, right? Is going to go in with the king. And so they're going to be preserved in that as so much as that. But their official nation, right, is going to be destroyed. And the reborn nation of these nations through these pairs that go, these pairs of heathens that go into the Lord's rest up under the king, the Most High is going to put his name on their spirit. And so they're going to fundamentally be different from the nations that they were on the earth, because the nations that they were on the earth was wicked and evil, produced wickedness and evil, right? And so, though in the flesh, these represent those nations, in the spirit, because the Most High puts his name on their spirit, they actually represent a new refined nation, different from the nation that existed on the earth. Example, Esau. Esau is going to go extinct on the earth in that day. But the women and children are going to be brought, some of the women and children, not all of the women and children, but the portion of the women and children of East Edom is going to go in with the king, up under the king, into the wilderness, ultimately into the land of milk and honey, and then into the secret place in which those children of Esau is going to repopulate. All praise and glory be to Yah. And they're going to be fundamentally different from those Edomites here in the world that remain in the world that go extinct ultimately. Now, that doesn't mean both of these two Edomites isn't going to see the same hell. It just means that where one is going to perish in extinction, the other one's going to live long life unto eternity, right? Up into eternity. All praise and glory be to Yah. What happens after that? They'll find out soon enough. Most High knoweth. So let's continue. Oh, and again, the Most High being, what do you say? An exceedingly great reward, right? And that's the same thing he's promised to the chosen leadership of Israel. Is it not written, paraphrasingly so, that the least of them will be as David, and the greatest of them, i.e., the house of David, the leadership, will be as the Most High, the angel that walketh before them? So the Most High is promising the leadership of Israel that he would be our exceedingly great reward. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father. Just like he promised Abram He has promised the chosen leadership of Israel. Now, of course, he got into a lot of detail. I mean, there's nuance. The high priest being the first fruit of the 144,000. That the 144,000, my other brethren, would love the high priest, right? Because, in this life, brother haven't felt loved, for quite some time. All praise and glory be to Yah. But the most I see the fit that, the king and I's breach was healed, and there's love between the two of us. All praise and glory be to Yah. The love of David, unlike any other, right? And that the 144,000, my brethren, that they would love the high priest. So, you know, those Israelites of each of the 12 tribes, if they don't love the high priest, whom the Most High has sent unto you, whom you can see, who you can hear, who you can test the spirit, who you can ask questions in the comment section, how you can detect the scriptures that the Most High is having me put forth and check to see whether it be true or not. If you don't love the high priest in which the Most High is given and has sent, then you already know you ain't one of the 144,000, because it is written that the 144,000 love the high priest, the first fruit, and that the high priest, first fruit, would go between the 144,000 forever, would flow between them, that they would desire the high priest, which is I, right? All praise and glory be to Yah. So it is what it is. If you don't love the high priest, if these teachings you detest, if the word of the Lord, the high priest, that the Most High puts in the high priest's mouth is somehow bad to you, or somehow unliked by you, then you can already let yourself know that you ain't the 144,000. Again, the 144,000 love the high priest. All praise and glory be to Yah. So if you have hatred to the high priest, you ain't one of them. And again, the 144,000 is a closed group. It's not something that you can opt to be in, right? These are chosen from the foundation of the earth. They come from the volume of the book, right? They follow the high priest in this realm of existence, and also the realm of existence that's coming. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father. The high priest is the ones that gives them their crowns in that day. So the criteria is love for the high priest, the first fruit. And if you don't have love for the high priest, the first fruit, then you ain't the 144,000. Now, again, there is Israel is like the sand of the sea, man. We're all over this world. And 144,000 of all of Israel is a very small percentage. You'd be more likely to win the lottery hundreds of times than be one of the 144,000, because the percentage is so low, right? But if you were of that percentage, the criteria is that you would love the high priest. All praise and glory be to Yah. And you wonder why the Most High says it's the narrow road, few may find it, right? So the Most High, like he said to Abram, he also said to the chosen leadership through dealing with the high priest and vision and dreams, that he is our great reward. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? And again, these are facts because if the Most High said it, then it'd be true. Just like He said, we're going to live and we're alive, and not one of us would die or perish. And it's true. With all the enemies that we have living amongst our enemies, right? With the powers that be trying desperately to keep this truth hidden, to keep these videos hidden. It only says two people are watching, but we know far more are watching. But they refuse to put the accurate numbers because they don't want more people to watch, right? If they could, they would just end it by getting rid of us. No need to shadow ban. No need to, uh, cut off our mics so that people can't hear what we're saying. The mic on YouTube cut off, but yet it'd be perfectly sounding right on Facebook because they don't work together seamlessly. So it's obvious that check, 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 and there you go. Mic goes off again, right? I guess they didn't like what I was saying, but it is what it is. It's obvious they're trying to do warfare, utilizing the internet and their levers within the internet, their control over the internet, right? But the Most High stands in their way. Obviously, they would like to assassinate us, right? Just like they did to Malcolm X, just like they did to Martin Luther King, just like they did to anyone whom they feared would deliver the Most High's people. The reason why they're unable to do so or have not done so and will not do so is because of the Most High and only because of the Most High, right? Our bodyguards, our Secret Service, our armies are not of this world, obviously, right? Our Father protects us with unseen hand, right? And the evidence of Him protecting us with unseen hands is the fact that we're still breathing. All praise and glory be to Yah. Not to mention um, the work being blessed, the work being um, very fruitful to the Lord, and that it's being spread across the world despite the efforts of the powers that be, right? So, what the Most High has said in regards to Abram in his day was true. And what he has said in spirit and vision and dream to the chosen leadership, in which we told the children of Israel, is true. We are still breathing. We're not locked away in some prison cell somewhere for 100 and some odd years. These camps, they were saying, oh, there's something wrong with those two brothers. Esau's in their pocket. You know, something's gonna happen with them. They were trying to prophesy our destruction, and we're still here, breathing. Now, of course, Babylon itself was an open door prison, right? But the fact that we're still breathing, i.e., we're alive, still, you know, doing the work of the Lord, whether it be the ministry, whether it be the movies, whether it be the music, any one of those things, we was consistently doing all of them. Even when the ministry concluded, while the high priest got married, right? We're still doing the music, and the music is Yahshua edifying. All praise and glory be to Yah. So again, the truth of the Most High's words to the chosen leadership is proof positive. Just like it was proof positive when he spoke these things to Abram. All praise and glory be to Yah. With the nuance that we wouldn't die, because even Abram died, right? So he was promising Abram that his enemies wouldn't overtake him and kill him, right? And which is the same with the chosen leadership. But the caveat, the difference, the nuance is that we wouldn't die at all. So regardless of our enemies' desire to get a brick and get rid of us, because they don't like the fact that the Most High is putting His words in the mouth of the high priest. They don't like the fact that the high priest says anointed, the anointed King of Israel, and not them. They don't like a lot of things about this two-man ministry. All praise and glory be to Yah. But despite what they don't like, we're not being given over into their hand. And not just talking about them, the powers of be as well, we're not given over to their hands. Even the common stroke, heart attack, whatever, the things that happen to people as they get older, even those things we haven't been given over into their hands, their spiritual hands. Yeah, we've had strokes, of course, the age that we're in, but we're still breathing and we're still cognate, right? And we're still doing the work. So, you know, he didn't tell us we wouldn't get old. He didn't tell us that we wouldn't lose some teeth, that we wouldn't have physical ailments dealing with age. But what he did tell us is that we wouldn't die, that we'd still be breathing upon his coming, that we would have mirth and abundance all the way up to his revealing. All praise and glory be to Yah. And of course, that he was pleased with the ministry, with the work, right? So there's nuance in regards to what he revealed onto Abram, um, you know, versus what he revealed onto the chosen leadership. Yes, he's our great reward. Yes, he's our shield from our enemies that they would not overtake us, in which they would desire to do, but also that he wouldn't give us over to death, right? Death that's common to men since the Garden of Eden. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father, in which he is made good on. So far, so good. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? So there's a nuanced difference, among other things, but that's the more notable one. Because we're here in the middle of Babylon, the wickedest nation in the earth. You got black people, black women being abducted for their wombs, black men being killed by cops and others. You got violence breaking out everywhere. You got storms, earthquakes that are happening, you know, uh, uh, tornadoes wiping off whole towns off the face of the map, right? Any one of these events could have been the end of us. We're living, you know, in California. You don't think there've been earthquakes here? You don't think there've been tornadoes here, right? So not only does he give us protection from enemies in the flesh and in the spirit, he also gives us protection from the ailments of age, right? Death by heart attack, death by stroke, death by high blood pressure, death by diabetes. He also gives a protection against those things in which we've experienced, but none of which have given power to kill us, right? And not only that, he's given us protection against environmental hazards, like forementioned storms, earthquakes, you know, and the like, the environmental dangers that are breaking forth. Not even to mention diseases, right? Like COVID-19 and others, pestilence that has broken forth in this nation, right? That has taken many lives in this nation as we speak, but none of which has impacted the chosen leadership. So the Most High is making good on what He has said, like He made good on it with Abram. He's making good on it with the chosen leadership of Israel, both the high priest, which is I, and even my identical twin brother, King Lucifer. And that's what's up. Again, what the Most High says in His Word, He's eternal. You're going to see evidence from the beginning of this book to the end of this book happening in life right now. You're going to find examples if you're looking, right? If you're honest with yourself, if you're truthful. All praise and glory be to Yah. He protected Abram. He's protecting the chosen leadership. There you go. Back to the scriptures. Abram said, Lord, Yahweh, what will you give me since I go childless? And he who will inherit my estate is Eliezer of Damascus. Abram said, Behold, you have given no children to me. And behold, one born in my house is my heir. Now, of course, he had children because he said that it was born in his house, but he had no children of his wife, Sarai. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? So he had others born in his house by servants, whatever, right? But at this time, he had nothing from his wife. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father. And that was the issue. And so the Most High is telling him that he's his great reward, but of course, living in this physical plane, living in the human condition, right? He looked at riches as having children who would inherit whatever it is that he had. If he died and everything went to a handmaid's son and he had no heirs from his wife, then how could that be a great reward if everything he got goes on to the hired help, right? So that was his concern. And also notice how he said the Most High hasn't given him children. So him and his wife was doing what they're supposed to do, being married, but he recognized that his seed being placed in her womb wasn't enough to create life. That the life, the soul, the spirit comes from Yah and Yah alone. And without Yah giving children unto him, He wasn't going to have any, and he hadn't had any. And you know, these women don't seem to understand that even to this day, man. They want to be mad at you because they don't got no children because they went through menopause because they, you know, for whatever reason, cannot bear a seed, as if it's your fault that they lived their life as a whore and the Most High's judgment came upon them. That being barren is a judgment from the Most High, by the way. You can't have any kids. You haven't had any children. You're going through menopause, and you dried up, withered up. Just look in the mirror at your life. Are you married to the husband of your youth? Have you only been with that man? Have you been faithful to that man and that man only? If your answer is a big fat no, then there you go. That's why you're barren. Because the Most High brought forth the judgment upon you. And you best be lucky that you're still breathing, right? You got these black women who the judgment has come upon them, and the Most High has dried up their womb, stopped up their ability to have children, acting as if they're the victim. How are you a victim living a life as a whore and expecting a whore's judgment not to come upon you, right? So some might say, well, why is old girl over there got 3 and 4 kids and 5 or 6 kids by different baby daddies and everything else? She's lived a life as a whore. Why isn't her stuff stopped up? Well, there's a judgment for her as well, right? It's not just one judgment fits all, right? The Most High has a diversity of judgments to fit various different circumstances. All praise and glory be her, be to the Most High Yah. Now that woman who played the whore and yet isn't barren has children. That doesn't mean that she doesn't have another judgment, HIV, some sexually transmitted disease, children that hate her, right? Problems in the household. There's a variod of different judgments that the Most High brings about to those for doing such evil and wickedness, right? So even that whorish woman who has children doesn't mean that she ain't being judged, right? And that woman who is barren, she's under judgment through her womb being stopped up, closed. Even back here in Abram's time, not having children wasn't considered a blessing, but a judgment. All praise and glory be to God. It was an obvious judgment that any Tom, Dick, and Harry could come up with and understand, right? We're not even talking about Abram at this point. We're talking about any person, any man or woman back in those days, right, could understand that a woman with no children uh, was under some sort of judgment. It was considered uh, a judgment, even to this day, for those who are honest with themselves, right? Because you got women who are barren, still thinking that they look a certain way, still thinking that they got something in the tank, still thinking that they can offer a man something outside of children. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father. I don't care how good you look. You don't have any children. You can't have any children. You all stopped up. You ain't nothing for nobody. Now, of course, if you're already in a marriage, hey, you know, that man's stuck with you because it's already been done. But if you ain't in marriage, you got nothing to offer anybody being barren. All praise and glory be to God. I mean, it is what it is. Thus says the Lord, right? You barren, you're under judgment. Looking at mirrors, watching, look at your life, see what you done did, um, which justifies the Most High, uh, closing your womb. Now, of course, when the turnover happens, when Exodus begins, when the gathering and so forth and so on, the Most High is going to open the womb of all females that are a part of the remnant in that day. So we're not talking about in that day. We're talking about in this day and from the beginning, because we know that the Most High is going to make a difference between the remnant and everybody else. The remnant who get into the wilderness, the Most High is going to open their wombs, and those who were barren are going to all of a sudden have children, right? And that's a part of the redemption process that's coming and that's already begun. The redemption process with Him redeeming, the chosen leadership, giving them this truth, giving them this ministry, walking them on this path, right? So once the redemption is manifest in this physical plane of existence, those women who were barren will all of a sudden give birth, be with child. And not just even talking about the women, the human women, even the animal females, right, are going to have pregnancy and give birth. The Most High is going to multiply the seed of Jacob within the remnant exceedingly. All praise and glory be to Yah the Father. So, not talking about that in that day. We're talking about in this day and what was leading up to that day. And that is basically, if you barren, being barren don't mean you're blessed. You got these women who can't have any children, haven't had any children, whoring themselves out there in the street corner, and still not having children, thinking that they're blessed, thinking that they have a personal relationship with the Most High, thinking that they can speak for the Most High, thinking that they can lead you to righteousness, and they're delusional. And those men who trust those women are delusional. All praise and glory be to Yah. All right, back to the scriptures. Behold, Yahweh's word came to him, saying, this man will not be your heir, but he who will come out of your own body will be your heir. Yahweh brought him outside and said, look now toward the sky and count the stars. If you are able to count them, he said to Abram, so your offspring will be. He believed in Yahweh, who credited it to him for righteousness. All praise and glory be to Yah. So Abram took what the Most High was saying, even though it hadn't materialized in the physical form. He took what the Most High said as fact. He believed it wholeheartedly. And because he believed what the Most High was saying, even though it didn't materialize at that moment in the physical, he translated that to righteousness. All praise and glory be to Yah. Right? And you say, well, how is that happening today? Well, look at Sister Miriam Yehuda. She believed this truth. She made a YouTube video talking about this truth and what the Most High had told her about these two brothers. And the Most High revealed her to the leadership and brought her into the leadership, and in which she still is to this day in spirit, right? Her belief in this truth was counted as righteousness, even despite her, you know, her past, her sins. All praise and glory be to God. It was still counted to her as righteousness, and that's the reason why the Most High drew her in. Same with Ambassador Zuali Dumia, a heathen Edomite, no less. But she believed, right, which is counted as righteousness. All praise and glory be to God. Not to mention the anointed King of Israel. So this truth, those who have faith and works meant unto repentance, those who believe and do, that is going to be counted for righteousness. So you see, there are going to be those who used to be whores, those who used to be even gay and homosexual, those who used to be swallowed up in their sins and in their wickednesses. You're going to see those people who believe in this truth, who turn to the Most High in spirit and in truth, getting into the remnant, walking into the land of milk and honey, because the Most High is going to take their faith that they had during the time of faith and work meant unto repentance, and he's going to turn that into righteousness. Of course, they're no longer going to be whores. They're no longer going to be gay and homosexual. They're no longer going to be whatever they were pre their sins being washed clean and righteousness being put upon them, right? But because they have faith and works meant unto repentance, because they followed the chosen leadership whom the Most High revealed unto them, that is going to be translated into righteousness in that day. And those ex prostitutes, those ex whoremongers, those ex gay and homosexuals, those ex wicked, sinful people is going to be transformed by the renewing of their mind and righteousness being put upon them. And they're going to walk into the land of milk and honey, no doubt. Whereas those who didn't want to believe in this truth, thought they were holier than thou, thought that they were somebody, that they need to hearken unto the word of the Lord, putting them out to the high priest, right? That they were, um, self righteous. They're going to be outside of the remnant. They're going to be locked out, dealing with the judgment happening in the world. All praise and glory be to Yah. With the fringes on, right? All right, back to the scriptures. He said to Abram, so your offspring will be. He believed Yahweh, who credited it to him for righteousness. He said to Abram, I am Yahweh, who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give you this land to inherit it. He said, Lord Yahweh, how will I know that I will inherit it? He said to him, bring me a heifer, 3 years old, a female goat, 3 years old, a ram, 3 years old, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. He brought him all these and divided them into the middle, in the middle, and laid each half opposite the other. But he didn't divide the birds. The birds of prey, the birds of prey came down on the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram. Now terror and great darkness fell on him. He said to Abram, know for sure that your offspring will live as foreigners in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them. They will afflict them 400 years. And I stopped there for a moment. Oh, snap. Haven't the children of Israel been in captivity and here in Babylon, aka America, 400 plus years? 1619. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there goes the mic. Somebody don't want to hear this. Somebody don't want this to be spoken. But the Most High told Abram not only what was coming to his descendants going into Egypt, ancient Egypt, with Moses and Aaron, but also foreshadowing Acts chapter 7, verse what? 6 and 7, who say the same thing. So we have here him telling this to Abram. We have also in what Genesis chapter 15, verses, which is this? This is Genesis chapter 15, verses 14 and 15, right? Just give me a second. I'm just gonna relook at this really quickly. It's chapter 13 and 14, right? All praise and glory be to God the Father. Yeah, chapter 13 and 14 in Genesis. So chapter 15, excuse me, verses 13 and 14. So he's telling Abram in the Old Testament about Egypt that's coming, but not just about Egypt with Moses and Aaron, but also about the spiritual Egypt of today that he talks about in the Acts chapter 7, verses 6 through 7, right? Which is the New Testament, what they call the New Testament. So it's said in the Old Testament, and like we've been teaching you, O sons and daughters of Jacob, the Most High says the end from the beginning, right? So he didn't just say this in Acts chapter 7, verse 6 and 7, which is the New Testament. He had to have said it or revealed it in the beginning. And that's right here, talking to Abram. All praise and glory be to Yah. So him telling Abram what was going to happen to his descendants wasn't just Moses and Aaron in Egypt, physical Egypt of old, right? It also applies to the 400 years of captivity of this generation, which is in the end at the last trump. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? The 400 years have been completed, and we're waiting for the Most High to reveal Himself at any moment. The 7 year Great Tribulation has started, and the Most High promised that He would save Jacob out of it. So we'd have to be in it for Him to save us out of it. All praise and glory be to Yah, right? So again, we know this to be true because He said this in the end, and He's confirmed it even way back in the beginning. All praise and glory be to Yah. Let's get back to the scriptures, right? When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram. Now terror and great darkness fell on him. He said to Abram, know for sure that your offspring will live as foreigners. That's those Edomites saying that we're Gentiles. That's those Edomites, these heathens, saying that we're nobody and nothing. That we're people with no history, people with no language, people with no culture, uh, a no name, a byword, a nigger, a colored, an African American, a whatever other than an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? He said to Abram, know for sure that your offspring will live as foreigners in a land that is not theirs. So what you celebrating for, oh, you sons and daughters of Jacob? America ain't yours. You was brought over here as slaves, man. You didn't get you didn't jump over the border. You didn't get a visa. You didn't get a citizenship. You didn't apply to be in this place. You just got here by force. And you're the descendants of those slaves who were brought here by force. Black America, right? Most High talking to you. If you still celebrating the 4th of July, if you're still celebrating these man-made religions, these holidays, holidays, to include Christmas, then excuse my French, you blind as fuck, man. Right? All praise and glory be to Yah. And that judgment is going to come upon you. Those sheep that blind their own eyes are going to be tossed into a pit. Well, when the separation happens, Most High going to be dealing with those people, man. He's going to put them in a pit. They're going to go straight to hell. Don't pass go. Don't collect your $200.